So I mentioned in one of my previous videos that after my father died, it had when I was a boy, when I was roughly 6 years old, it had this unexpected benefit of bringing me closer to my extended family, and that came in the form of, as I said, going to the movies a lot. And that tradition maintained. Like we would try to do that as often as possible when I was young and in my teens throughout those years, and I was more available. And I remember that there, as time goes on, they're not. There's some good ones and there's some bad ones. And I remember one of my uncles had a much more refined taste in movies, and he had like a much better taste in movies, and it was harder for him to sit through stuff like Secret of the Ooze or Three Ninjas or whatever you pick up at Blockbuster when you're 11 or 12 years old, and he's just like, like this again, like why can't you like something like Miller's Crossing? That's usually his go-to movie, or The Apartment, because he's got this really, really, refined taste in film. So what he would do is he would try to find something by his filmmakers that had even accidentally made something appropriate for an 11 or 12-year-old, right? So that everyone's happy. And I really respect that. I really do. And it was on that score that he's like, oh, North. And it's a movie you guys probably don't even know about, even if you're 35, or you forgot about it, right? And he was like, Rob Reiner, because he likes directors and writers. And he was the person who instilled that in me, to know who directed something and who wrote something and what year it was made and that kind of thing. And he's like, oh, well, Rob Reiner just came off this streak. Because back in, I think this is 94, and I was, like I said, I was like, paying attention. I was becoming a film nerd. And he's like, oh, well, Rob Reiner came off of When Harry Met Sally and Misery and A Few Good Men. And that's like, he spanned the genres, as Howard Moon would say.
I'm building up quite a portfolio, I'll have you know.
What, are you a photographer now?
Yes, sir.
I thought you were a jazz poet.
I do many things, huh, that you don't know about. I span the genres, Vince. They call me the genre spanner.
They call you the spanner.
He, yeah. He did a really good romantic comedy, a really good Hitchcockian thriller, and a really good Oscar bait kind of, prestige picture. The truth, you can't handle the truth. Yeah, it's A Few Good Men. And so not even a year later, I think this is his next film, is North. And the trailers made it look like, I don't know, there was a weird era where all the trailers were like, go to the Nostalgia Critic to know what I mean. Like, for that tone I'm referring to. Like, you remember the trailers on VHS tapes?
Where in the world are the perfect parents?
Hey, this looks great. I have always dreamt of a life without the ever-present nuisance of electricity. Just let me grab something from the plane. I seem to have left my butter churn in the front compartment. Glorious!
On July 22nd, Rob Reiner takes North on a worldwide search for the perfect parents.
Hang in there, kid. You'll find what you're looking for.
North, rated PG. At theaters Friday.
Like, like, North. North was the average kid. Remember? Ugh. Okay, I don't even want to start talking like that. So anyway, like, I'm long since, like my mom says, you were going to be okay about your dad. And, like, you're just watching movies to watch movies now. But I still have that informed past, right? So I'm going to see North kind of buzzy, like, it's Rob Reiner. My uncle says it's going to be really good. And it's got George and Elaine in the trailer, because we love Seinfeld, right? And we saw George and Elaine in the trailer, and they were on, like, dollies like Hannibal Lecter, because they were frozen in shock from how their child was suing them for emancipation. And we're like, oh, okay, this looks kind of funny. Like, so, that kid that popped up for a second in Back to the Future 2 is going to sue George and Elaine to emancipate himself, and he's going to, like, go to, Ray Stantz and Reba McEntire, and they're going to adopt him. And it looked really fun. And I was anticipating fun. And then, and I'm not just saying this because of the tone of my channel, the movie was very strange. It was very weird to me. And now I know why. And I'm not going to say why, because I don't want my channel shut down, but you know how I do that thing where I've even had someone say in a comment once, why are you trolling? Because it's the language of our time. and it's the easiest way to just kind of stay under the radar. But anyway, so anyway, God, it just has this very creepy feeling to me where if you've lost a parent, it's traumatic, you know, and it's not something that a child should be like, I want to lose both parents and go out into the wilderness and hope two other parents pick me up. It's deluded. You know, it's the deluded naivete of a very small child. And it's weird that the movie enables it. The movie makes it seem like you're in for this fanciful, wistful adventure when you run away from home. And I'm like, oh man, like this. See, even as a boy, I'm like, danger, danger, Will Robinson. I'm like, because you're wandering out in the wilderness without both parents. And it's so weird that the movie presents him as being assaulted by all these suitors, right? And one of them is Bruce Willis in a bunny suit in a mall. And that scene chills me. You know, and I still remember that my uncle was a big fan of Die Hard, right? My uncle with the good taste in film that took me to see it. And he's like, Bruce Willis is in it. He's even a co-build. And we waited a while for him to show up. So when he shows up in that scene, you go, hey, John McClane. You do. Because I think Die Hard with a Vengeance had just come out. Isn't that weird? Like, shove a lightning bolt up your ass, Zeus had just happened. So you're like, Bruce Willis. And then it just gives you this creepy as fuck vibe. Where he's in the mall, like, I don't know, making friends with this kid. This strange kid. And he's the mall bunny, so he's got kids on his lap all day. Ew, 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 ew. He's the mall bunny, he's got kids on his lap all day, and he's filthy. He's supposed to be all, like, disheveled, and he's not shaven, and he looks like he's got a cigarette, maybe. Why is he the mall bunny with kids in his lap when he looks like that? Even I thought that. I'm like, kid, run. Go, run. This is the bad guy. He's going to take off his bunny hat, and he's going to be Captain Hook. Run, run, run. And the movie does this weird thing where it's like, no, go with him. You know, go with this guy. The strange guy with the bunny ears. Listen to him. Go with him. He's going to take you to new parents. And, oh man. I don't have to say any more now, do I? How long is this? You know, you can love pizza all you want.
That brings me to my obsession with pizza. I have quite an obsession. I mean, down to, like, you know, researching online, like, the top 10 pizza places in the US and, like, planning on visiting all of them. I'm kind of obsessed.
But you don't have to throw pizza in everyone else's face. You don't have to cover everyone else in pizza, like, even, and they're like, I hate pizza, stop. And they're like, no, you love pizza. I hate pizza now. Because of you fucks. The food.